Hello, everyone. Hello, Holly. How are you? This is going to be the water sign reading. So, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. If you have placements somewhere in your sun, moon, rising, or Venus that are water signs, then this may resonate. Stick around, find out. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and we'll just jump right in. All right. So, we have first card out, Insanity Loop. Repeating past mistakes. Um, Currently, we are having certain things triggered, brought up for our awareness so that we can focus on them for healing. Um, Good, Holly. I'm glad you're doing at least okay. I love you, girl. We have Ace of Wands in the reverse and Queen of Swords also in the reverse, showing up on the bottom of the deck. So, um, things not moving forward, new cycles not beginning, dropping into past patterns of thought, patterns of behavior, not seeing things clearly with that Queen of Swords in the reverse, but also it could be toxic feminine energy, which a lot of the times can be very um, negative talk, backbiting, nitpicky type energy. Um, and that's not just for the females, all right? This is toxic feminine energy. We all have masculine and feminine energy within us. So if you're a man, you definitely could be experiencing this as well. But Ace of Wands in the reverse, also, I'm getting anger, frustration from that, which is not typically what I would get from Ace of Wands reverse, but that's kind of a theme that's surfacing. So if you have any unresolved traumas that cause you to hold on to negativity, anger, lashing out at others, kind of abusive behavior, because let's just be real, that's what it is. Um, and we can all exhibit these types of uh, traits from time to time. Nobody's perfect. Everyone gets short, everyone gets upset, everyone gets frustrated. So make sure that you're also having grace with yourself, but be mindful of your thoughts, words, and actions at this time. We do also have Five of Pentacles energy in the upright right behind those cards. So these feelings or these situations that cause these emotions to surface for us could have us feeling very much in lack, or feeling left out in the cold, or feeling alone, like nobody really connects with us on that level. Nobody really understands. But so many people are experiencing this right now. And yes, it is difficult. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it can be sheer torture. Okay. We're not going to sugarcoat it. But at the same time, these are residual behaviors or patterns or emotions that we haven't really fully faced and fully healed. So, them surfacing at this time, or us being triggered into this energy, is helping us to see our own patterns of behavior, to actually see the patterns of our lives. So, if you take a step back and look at this trigger, why you're feeling this way, what it might tie back to, or what it currently brings up for you in your life, you can see where other points in your life you might have felt similar, and you might have exhibited behaviors or patterns, made decisions based on that energy, which kind of backfired. I get like slap in the face energy. So these are helping you to course correct, to correct those patterns. Okay. Those are the things that are holding us back. We do have the star card that came out of the tarot deck. And at first, it kind of, when it shot out, it was in the reverse. And then it kind of was moving into the upright. So I was told to take it as an upright card, which checks out with this energy. Things that we haven't been able to anchor into our reality, manifestations, backfiring or misfiring, not being able to see things clearly, like we've been talking about. We've had some Neptunian fog taking place for us lately. So this is, whenever we're in that fog or in that confusion or in that restless state, it's not very easy for us to anchor in the things that we want, need, and desire. We more so will anchor in the things that we're afraid of, the things that we're focused on that we don't want happening in our current circumstances, but they start happening. And then we're, tunnel vision on that. The more energy we feed that, the more we, reap a harvest on that energetic investment. So this is you kind of turning that reverse star into the upright. This is helping you. This is, even though it sucks, trust me, I know, don't scream at me about it, but um, it's once we are fully able to understand all the aspects of why this is showing up for us, we can heal and integrate that so that we can move forward. And we also have Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so this is things turning in your favor. This is I get reversal of fortune, but it's in a positive aspect. Like if you've been experiencing what you might consider bad fortune or unfavorable events and outcomes, this is when things start to turn in your favor because you've already done the work. You've already been focusing on it. You're like, Rebel, you're telling me to deal with it, to face it, to heal it. And I've been doing that and it's still coming. I've gotten that lately, but it's the truth, energy is always in motion. We know that. We talked about this yesterday as well on the earth sign and the air sign readings. And if you missed those, make sure you go back and watch those, especially if you have earth sign or air sign placements. You may glean some kind of positive guidance from those or just validation on what you're experiencing. But energy is constantly in motion, and it also has divine timing. Okay, it's not any set earth time or any kind of tangible, oh, it's going to last from this date to this date, which astrology will help us with that. But even with astrology, there's residual, there's before energy and post energy. Hi, Ben. So even though, yes, you may have been dealing with this for quite some time already, you're just kind of moving out of it. So there will be some more of this energy as it tapers off. But like I've been saying, I'm pretty sure that most of us are most of the way through this, at least over the hump, over the worst of it. You know what I mean? So this is moving you into a place where you can experience more high vibrational energy. We have high vibrations showing up here: love, compassion, forgiveness, and oneness. We talked yesterday about being grateful for even the negative experiences because they brought you some sort of wisdom, some sort of contrast. You know for sure now that this is what I really want, this is what I really don't want. And that is the positive side of experiencing the contrast or the perceived negative experiences in our lives. And I know there can be awful experiences. I've experienced some of those as well. And you might look at me like, oh yeah, what do you know about suffering, about negativity, blah blah blah. Psychics saying love and light, preaching love and light. Just focus on the outcome that you want. No, don't bypass the feelings that you're experiencing right now in this moment, because when you try to suppress them or try to look past them, they're always going to come up in a bigger way the next time. So you're not doing that. You're actually confronting these shadows. We have the Hermit card also bottom of the deck. Like, you are confronting the shadows. You are making that pilgrimage to the top of the mountain with your little lantern, looking within. Even if I'm getting like someone, maybe a few of you are kind of holding your light externally, not as we always project, whether it's positive or negative. So, if we're more of a positive aspect, then we're going to project our positivity out into the world. But this is like someone's not feeling safe within themselves. So it's like you're choosing to hold this light outside of you, to project it out into your environment, even if you can't project it towards yourself at this time, so that you can keep an eye on that, it's like, here's my light. I see it, even though I may not feel it, even though I may not be really focusing much of it internally. It always is still internal. You can't bypass that one, but you're outward focused. So the light within you leading the way is actually kind of literal here. Is you're projecting your own light out into your environment so that you can follow that, so that it can lead the way for you. This is kind of like that Jesus take the wheel kind of thing, like surrender to the universe or to God, to whatever it is that you believe in, even whenever you're living in a waking nightmare. Okay, even if you're having so many thoughts or negative circumstances taking place around you, you're still, it's not like you don't recognize your light within. It's just that maybe you can't hold that for yourself right now, and that's okay. Um, because you're still, you know, broadcasting that signal. And this star card, I just looked down and saw, she's a little otter, but she's got her light. It's in her hands and she's projecting that out. She's shining that light forward. So that says something about you as a soul, as a being, as a person. If you are unable to really feel your own light and shine your own light for yourselves, you're still doing that for others. So, in essence, you are doing it for yourself, but this is the only way that you can wrap your mind around to be able to still carry that light with everything else that you're currently carrying. Or you might be just coming out of this energy. Take it how it resonates for you. Um, but until you're able to really come to that point of surrender, of that Jesus take the wheel energy, um, it's going to still feel like this internal battle. Okay, it's still going to pause certain circumstances in your life or manifestations that maybe they should be come to fruition by now, but they're not, because energetically you've been going through some turbulence, you've been going through some rough waters. So you're feeling on shaky ground. um so whenever, even if you're if you're one of the highest frequencies normally, okay, for a human, if you are normally very high frequency and you're experiencing a lot of turbulence, you're going to be impacted. You're going to feel, lower frequency than you normally do. That's just how energy works. It doesn't mean that you're a low frequency being or you're constantly existing there, because we're up and down with our frequency all day, every day. Unless you've come to a point where you can really masterfully balance your energy, which that's not any of us, okay? Because I still have my moments. I have really excellent days, and then I have days where, I lose my shit for a few minutes, and that's perfectly human and it's perfectly acceptable. Just don't hurt others in the process, because you don't want karma on that. But Eight of Wands in the reverse, things not moving forward, okay? Perhaps your inspiration, you're not feeling very inspired, you're not feeling very excited, you're not feeling like really engaging with the world or with others. That's fine. That's actually your body saying, yo, we need to rest. We need to take a step back. We need to stop shining our light for every fucking buddy else when we can't even turn the light on for ourselves right now. So take a step back, meditate, go within for answers, stay connected to source, grounding, balance, chakras, because you're on a voyage right now. Let me tell you, rite of passage to self-discovery and mastery. In the deepest, darkest moments, you learn so much about yourself. Okay, that's not just your resilience or your ability to overcome and endure through difficult situations, because tell me something new, tell me something I don't know. um, but you're not allowing it to deter you. Okay, you're not allowing, sometimes you might have your moments where, like, what the hell am I even doing? Why am I even engaging here? Or why do I even exist here? Or whatever it is. You might be taking a rest, but you're not out of the race. Okay, with that Six of Swords, the hare is sitting on the side of the road like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna wait, gonna rest here for a minute, and then I'm gonna finish the race. We know the tortoise and the hare story. That's not what I'm referencing. Anyway, because you're not giving up, because you're you're still dedicated to your path, even if you have your moments where you slip, even if you have your moments where you kind of feel like completely deflated and you don't know what else to do, what steps to take next, or what you even want to do moving forward. You are refining your connection to who you truly are. Okay. You are divinely protected, says it on the card. Spiritual path, oneness, and secret knowledge. You are learning about yourself because in your lowest moments, you find so much out about yourself. You learn so much about yourself and what you're capable of. And it's when our knees hit the floor, generally, when a breakthrough happens. Okay. And this is you sowing your legacy. Sometimes we have to be brought to our knees before we can fully step into our purpose. Okay. Stepping into your purpose for the highest good of all. This is your legacy. You are connected to your legacy. Hey, Matt. Um, you are gaining ancestral wisdom or remembering, okay, recalling this ancestral wisdom. It's encoded within your DNA, not only from your genetic ancestors, but also your star ancestors, your spiritual ancestors. Hi, Anna. So even through your difficult journeys, your difficult side quests, all right, you are gaining this wisdom, this experience. So stop focusing on the missing of opportunities or the absence of something that you really want to manifest, but it hasn't come to fruition yet. Quit getting yourself into that Eight of Swords energy, that overthinking, that, those intrusive thoughts, the being bombarded constantly by your inner critic or your own negativity. And everyone can be negative. I don't care if you're the most positive person, okay? If you're love and lighting it all to death, then you're spiritually bypassing and you're not authentic. So get some authenticity. King of Swords right behind that, also bottom of the deck energy. So you are stepping more into this masculine role. Hello, Dallas. Um, Bringing more clarity to your divine masculine. This is in the upright. It is not the wounded masculine energy. The King of Swords sees clearly. He's a strategist, right? He strategizes. He chooses when to use the sword and when to kind of step back and just observe. Air sign, right? That's observing, gaining information, speaking, advocating for yourself, taking initiative, because the masculine energy is the action taker, that taking the initiative. So this, whenever you're feeling like, we had that Queen of Swords in the reverse right in the beginning of the reading, whenever you're feeling like you're not valued or you're not seen for your true worth, or you're really in that wounded feminine energy, which is not open to receiving. This is, I'm clammed up, I'm closed off, I'm not taking any appointments today. Okay. um your masculine protects your feminine. Okay. So you've got that divine masculine stepping up. This could be in the way that you heal your wounded masculine, wounded feminine energies, where, one of them starts to kind of go out of balance here, and then the other corrects it. The other one is there to support it. You're not always going to have someone there whenever you need someone to talk to, when you need someone to hold your hand, when you need somebody to support you. You're not always going to feel that you have someone that you can go to for that. And it's in those times, sometimes our higher selves and our guides will force us into situations where we don't have anyone to lean on, right? So that we learn how to be that for ourselves. So this is your divine masculine stepping up to be there, not to compensate for the wounded feminine that you're experiencing right now, but to help to bring her into wholeness, to bring her into healing. Okay. Because the masculine is also a nurturer, contrary to popular belief. Um, so the fact of rebalancing these energies, and keep in mind, King and Queen of Swords are air energies. I had the Justice card brought to my awareness in my inner vision. It's not showing up here, but I get the Justice card and the balancing of the scales. So you are actively balancing your masculine and your feminine energies, healing those. And we have Three of Cups, celebration. This is something to be celebrated. This is something to be grateful for, even if it's painful, even if it really fucking sucks. I know you ain't got to tell me, okay? I've been through it more times than I can count on my fingers and toes, all right? So celebrate the fact that these things are being brought to your awareness, that you're really seeing things highlighted for you, themes in your life that aren't really working out for you anymore. 2020, that vision, perfect vision. That's funny because I was just watching 2020, the show on TV, like it was playing in the background while I was getting ready. So that's cute. And then we have full 2.0, which is 20, 2020. So 2020 vision, baby, it's helping you to see more clearly, and it's opening up that Delta doorway. This is forgiveness and limitless freedom. This is the quantum, okay? Everything that you want, need, and desire is already in creation in the quantum realm. You just have to be that star card and anchor that down into your reality. And sometimes it takes trial and error, especially if it's something that you haven't really manifested for yourself before, or maybe you're having those doubts, those old thought patterns playing over and over again, saying, oh, you can't do it, oh, this isn't, you're not good enough for this, you're not worthy, or they're just going to overlook you like everybody else. Put a stop to that shit, okay? Redirect. And we do have mental reprogramming showing up here as well, so that has been a theme as of late. It's been a theme for years now, but coming up again as of late. Thank you, Matt. 2121. So with that Delta doorway card, you are opening yourself up to the limitless potential. Okay, you are becoming the star card in the upright. We had, like I said earlier, when the star card came out, it came out kind of sideways, but it was on its way into the upright, and I was told to take it in the upright. So this is you becoming the anchor for that energy that you want to anchor into your reality. I had a timeline jump today. My earbuds were nowhere to be found for the last 5 days, looked everywhere. I was talking to Matt on the phone when it appeared on my bed mattress. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I love that, Anna, and totally believable for you. Yes, you are a timeline jumper for sure. Magical being. And this is part of your mission. You are meant to raise consciousness, raise awareness, share your light, and ripple out to others. Show them, be the example. You don't change people by going door to door and selling them your belief system. Ask the Christians, they've been doing it for years. You raise awareness and you get people's attention and get them thinking for themselves. Okay, whenever they see you demonstrating the fact that you can manifest the seemingly impossible, or you can turn a shit situation upside down and make it beautiful. You can move through even the most difficult of circumstances and keep your head held high. That is no small feat, okay? And you gain way more recognition whenever you approach it in that way, instead of being all preachy and be like, oh, love and light, just like expect the best and it'll happen. No, you're spiritually bypassing and you're giving people shit advice. Okay, so be authentic, feel your emotions, don't bypass them. Part of your mission is your authenticity, is you struggling, people seeing the struggle within you, but seeing you also overcome that and become the winner. Okay, become the victor. That's what grabs people's attention, is seeing you go from low to high authentically, right? So you're just the simple act of living your life the way that you do and healing yourself the way that you do is going to impact people on far deeper levels than preaching door to door ever would get you. Okay, or phone to phone, since we're on the internet here. That's been coming up a lot this week already. I don't know why, but if you are resonating with these messages at all, check your shadows because it's getting kind of ridiculous at this point. I see on a Schumann resonance page today that there were a few timeline jumps. Oh, cool. Back this Anna had a jump, found her earbud. Awesome. Yes. See, and whenever you have some kind of a significant experience like that and others are witnessing it, it's going to impact them as well. They're going to be like, oh, you timeline jumped, or you healed, or you did this, or you did that. That means it's possible for me. And so people start to shed their own limitations and focus more on the limitlessness that all humans are capable of achieving. But due to programming and all of that, we kind of, really severely doubt ourselves. And it's terrible, but it's a thing. And we're here to heal that. We're here to bring awareness to the fact that people do that we do that, and then overcome that so others can see us do the same and then follow suit, right? Because energy ripples, it inspires, it touches others. Even if you may never meet those people in your lifetime, doesn't matter, you still affect people. So keep sowing those seeds, keep tending your crops. You've got a harvest coming. Yeah, it might not fully be in yet, but look at how far you've grown. Look at how much you've grown. Look at the abundance that is still in the works for you. Okay. We have autopilot, same experience as daily, trying something new with that mental reprogramming card that came out. So course correcting, like I talked about right in the beginning of the reading, course correcting on thought patterns, behavioral patterns, belief systems, even. It's like your awareness is being brought to the fact that you cannot continue to just stumble through life repeating the same exact energy and expecting these amazing, astounding outcomes for this energy if you're not really, sowing the seeds. You didn't get these crops for nothing. You didn't, just sit there laid up against that, whatever it is he's leaning against. I guess it's just the edge of the card. I figured it would be a tree or something, but it's not. But you can't just sit there and sit on your hands and not plant the seeds and not water them and not make sure that your garden is weeded and everything's tended and expect to grow a bountiful harvest. It's just not going to happen. So perhaps you're running into issues right now to bring to conscious awareness that you need to do something different. You can talk about being a certain way or having whatever or doing whatever, being whatever, but if you're not actually taking inspired action to bring about these outcomes, we're in a tangible realm. Remember that. It's not just like yesterday we talked about this too. It's not just like the lighter realms where you can think it and it appears. You actually have to do stuff. You actually have to bring it into tangible form here, which is quite a bit more difficult than the former. So course correcting is just what keeps really coming through for me. Is all of these hiccups or these disturbances are bringing awareness to the fact that you do need to do something different. Maybe you've been avoiding it. We have the Tower card in the reverse right next to that Seven of Pentacles, but also on the other side of it we have that Fool 2.0 card. And now in this deck there's two Fool cards. There's the Fool card and then Fool 2.0. So this would be extra oomph in your direction, right? There's that feather right here talking about lightness, leaving behind perhaps flaky, fluttery energies and actually taking the tangible steps or doing the thing to either reprogram your thoughts. This would be stopping negative thoughts right in their tracks, saying I validate you, I see you, I know why you're here, but we're not doing this anymore. So move to the trash, to the recycle bin, and then empty that shit, okay? And then put something new in, bring in, new thoughts, reprogram with something new, because you can't just take something out without putting something new in, or else you're just going to default to old programming. Hello, light and hope. Pregnant, so I want to know. Honey, I'm not doing individual readings right now. If you read the title, it does say water signs, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. This is a more collective reading for the elements, but stick around and see if something resonates for you. I do individual readings on YouTube, but that's going to be bi-weekly or once monthly. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you can get notified anytime that I go live and do the individual readings, okay? So this is getting us out of autopilot. Whatever circumstances or changes that we're avoiding, they're becoming unavoidable at this point. Everything is coming to a head energetically. And if there's any kinds of behaviors or thoughts that you've been avoiding, any kind of shadow work that you've been avoiding thus far, you're going to, have that brought to the surface in some way by triggers. You're welcome, love. By way of triggering situations or, memories or people coming back from the past to trigger those memories, whatever it is for you. But this is kind of that kick in the ass to get you to take the action steps to actually move things forward. So I really love that. And it is part of the mission. It is part of the plan. Yeah, it's going to suck. Okay. It's not going to be comfortable. We're edging past comfort zones right now, or just being completely kicked outside of our comfort zones, depending on your guides and their sense of humor. But, speaking of guides, we have Reunion of Souls here on the bottom of the deck with the Shamanic Healing Oracle. So a lot of people are experiencing relationships separating, breaking up, diverging. People are losing loved ones by way of death and transition, right? So you could be losing, people or pets or something dear to you. It doesn't have to be a physical death, but a lot of that is happening. We are in eclipse season. So around eclipse season is a time where a lot of folks will tend to make their exit. Transformation right behind that to confirm that. So card number 22. 2 is things coming together. 22 is a master number. 2 plus 2 is 4. So bringing us back to solid foundations. This transformation process isn't fun. It's not easy and it's not pretty. Okay. But it is pertinent to your path, to your growth. Okay. It's of high importance. So you do need to kind of ride the wave. Surrender. Again, that's coming up as well. It's been coming up since the beginning of the reading. Surrender, retreat, go within for answers. Right behind that, we have inner journey, and that is card number 35 as well. 3 plus 5 is 8. So in 8 infinity. So retreat, go within for answers. Again, that's card number 40. So foundations and the God force, the source code energy. So this is your divine source bringing you to a point where you need to retreat. You need to go within. You need to hermit card, wherever that went. Anyway, you guys saw the hermit. Go within for answers. Connect to your light. Sometimes I think they've been hitting the winery, your guides. That's awesome, Molly. Yeah. It can seem as though sometimes, but it's bringing about incredible changes. Again, changes. We had the tower showing up in the reverse. You cannot avoid change. Okay. Change is the only constant in the universe, in this universe. It's all good. It's all happening for your highest good. Okay. You're merging past, present, and future. So honor that. Okay. You are the magician. The present moment is your gift. Okay. That's why they call it the present. So in this moment, in the present, you are able to heal your past in your present, focus on your present, also healing your present, healing the future, because that changes your future. You're a time traveler. So go back in the past with the present moment to change the trajectory of your future. King Tide showing up on the bottom of the deck with plenty, prosperity, and receiving the fullness of life. We have to let go of all of the lack and all of the experiences that trigger expectation of lack or patterns of lack, thought patterns that you're lacking in some way. Okay. We need those highlighted at this time so that we can burn those away, so we can release them, let them go, and ground what it is that we want into our present, into our future. And all of us want abundance, whether that's money, love, connections, whatever it is. So be open to the overflow. The only way that you're going to be open to the overflow is by releasing the lack, even if it's comfort zone, even if I know what to expect out of these situations, even though they might be shitty, I still know what to expect whenever I'm lacking in love, lacking in finances, lacking in pleasure, vacation, whatever. Um, I know what to expect. This is comfortable for me just because I can anticipate what happens next. Even if it's more of the same misery, I can anticipate that, so I'm safe here. That's what the ego says. Okay? So this is overcoming that, healing that part and integrating that, because your ego is not your enemy. Your ego is your ally. You just have to train it properly, and that's where this mental reprogramming comes in, because you'll get on autopilot just by default. You're manifesting by default because of past experiences. So you default into the same frequencies and then you get the same outcomes. Even if you're expecting something different, you're still vibing at that same frequency. Okay. That default frequency. So overriding that program and bringing something better in is going to be what gets you into this abundance stage. Okay. Thank you, Matt. Water codes, ancient wisdom, again with the wisdom. We got ancestral wisdom over here, and then we got ancient wisdom right here with water codes. The intelligence is within you. That's why they're trying to force you to go within. That's why they're trying to, cause external circumstances to bring you within, because you're outward focused. Remember, we talked about projecting that light out into your external circumstances, perhaps feeling like it's unsafe for you to carry right now, or it's intolerable for you to carry for yourself right now. It's time to bring it in. Okay. Bring it in for a hug. All right. But go within for those answers. Shine that beautiful light on the inner shadows and bring them healing, bring them validation, and integrate those. Give them the proper validation. That past version of you that was not validated, that felt like you were unseen, unheard, attacked, you name it, sit with that version of you and let them feel seen, let them feel heard and valued, and then bring them in. Okay, we're integrating the pieces, the fragments. The rainbow, sweet relief, new beginnings, and a new way forward. This is after healing and integrating. Again, yes, it's going to suck. Yes, those fragments can be sharp. Okay. But they're going to continue to cut you until you focus on them, you bring the healing and you integrate them, you glue the pieces back together, right? They're going to continue to cut until you do this. The mist, trust your inner compass and be led from within. Again, going within, meditate, go within, listen to your intuition, allow this external circumstance or multiple circumstances to highlight what it is that you need to focus on for healing. These fragments that are all over the floor, these shards of glass, okay? You shed light on those, you can see them, so you can sweep them up, you can glue them all back together. That's all that this is. This isn't the universe attacking you. This isn't your guides, your higher self, God, whatever, angels, demons, all that attacking you, okay? It's your own demons. Demons are thought forms created by the self, okay? In most cases, there are also powerful like demonic entities and energies and things like that, which is a completely different story, not what we're talking about here. If you need any help with that, you can book a session with me, Rebel Spirit Heal or rebelspiritrising.com. I do provide those services as well. But you are going to need to pay attention to that intuition. You're going to have to be led by your inner compass in order to get to this place where you're ready to propel yourself forward into this new reality that you've created for yourself. Divine timing and integration, okay? It happens in divine timing and only after you've healed and integrated. This is the year of the wood snake. It sucks, but we're shedding shit that doesn't serve us. We're shedding that old itchy skin. It's stiff. It's too small. We're expanding. We need to let that shit go and get some new clothes. All right. And that's all it is. And it's all happening in divine timing when you get yourself to a spot where you can fully see what you need to course correct. Hey, Steph. Um, how long? Oh, I guess we are like 40 minutes in. You missed most of it. I'm about to close out the reading right now, but you can always watch the replay. Anywho, let go of what doesn't belong. Keep yourself focused on what it is that you truly want while also observing the hindrances that you place on yourself, thought patterns, behavioral patterns, etc. Okay. Recognizing those, course correcting, and maintaining that trajectory. Okay. Listen to that intuition, because that is how you're going to be led and guided right now. If it seems a bit murky or you're uncertain, close out external stimuli, really focus on yourself. If you're still having issues, you can book a session with me, rebelspiritrising.com. Otherwise, you're on an adventure. You're moving forward into new experiences, and you have to trust that, and you have to be grateful for the lessons, even the painful ones, okay? Because they are priming you for this legacy energy, for this abundant energy that is flowing into your life. Whether you see it or not, it is flowing. All right. I love you guys. I'm going to end this here. I'm going to reshuffle, and then I'll meet you over at the fire sign, whatever you call it, stream to get the fire sign readings done for today. I love